Well, dear journal, today has been another insane day in more ways than one. I wish I didn't have to say that. And if you're wondering what that little floaty thing in the background there is, apparently a couple of them are having a fight. They are ball lightnings, I've been informed. Oh, can't see them now. Not sure where they are. But isn't that a beautiful sky? Took me forever to look up and see the sky here in the rainbow forest, but it's amazing. Simply amazing. Right, well, let's see, where do I start? Well, I began my day by doing some mining because I wanted to get, well, materials so we could make some more things. Wanted to make some machines. Sorry, those are a little bit hypnotic. And, well, just when I was heading out to get some sand that I needed to turn into glass so I could, well, start on making a machine, Atera told me to sleep, and the next thing I knew, as usual, when it happens with her, I was in her presence in my mind and speaking to her, and she laid a task upon me. I have 2 trials that I need to do, and I have... Yeah, they are fighting amongst themselves, aren't they? I also have an altar to build. But before I can build the altar, I have to pass the trials. And the things that I get from those trials are things that are needed for the altar. The first thing I need to do is I need to fight and defeat a Gaia Guardian. And the things I get from that is what I need. Now, I did get some given to me as a gift earlier today by Lilith as a thank you for helping her be cured with our adventures. But I think I have to actually defeat the Gaia Guardian myself, or it doesn't count as passing the trial. And the other thing I have to get is I have to walk a bit on the dark art side with the magic of life, or sometimes people call it blood magic. Although she didn't call it blood magic, called it the magic of life, and I'm pretty sure it's blood magic. I have to get a shard of blood from an innocent villager. And that means I'm going to have to look for a volunteer. And I'm hoping I can get that shard without actually, well, killing a villager, but I might have to do that. And someone might say, well, that means you're doing something evil if I have to do that. And, well, there are situations where taking someone's life is a mercy. Someone who's incurably ill, someone who is very old and wants to pass away before they are reduced to a state that they find very distressing. So there are times when it's a kindness. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy to do, I recognize that. But I think if I look, and if I try to find someone like that, would otherwise suffer, then I think that would be the shade of gray that I'm looking for, I guess. Looks like dawn is coming. But anyway, I'm sorry if I'm a little slow thinking. I'm very tired. It's been very exhausting. So, when I was just starting to ask some additional questions of Atera, Astheris, I guess he heard us talking, and he came to he came to inspect his prison. That's right. He said he came to inspect his prison and found me there, which means that in some respect I was present in her prison as opposed to her being present in my mind, which is, I guess that means in spirit I was in that prison with her. I'm not quite sure how that works. But anyway, he promptly sent her away, and then he started, well, I guess gloating, I guess, would be the best way to describe it, because he caught me there, and he had no plans to let me go. Well, I did actually answer him back at first before I remembered I wasn't supposed to be talking to him. So I stopped talking to him. And that did not make him very happy. He spent quite a lot of time talking at me, trying to get me to respond. And if it weren't for my spirit guides, I think I probably would have broken down. In fact, I'm almost certain I would have. I would have broken down and spoke to him again, which is, of course, what he wanted. But because I didn't speak to him, I learned quite a lot, and I still need to think about a lot of it. But the short as possible version is that he said that all of them brought us here. He brought some, Alair brought some of us, and Atera brought one. That was me, is what I gathered. Oh, crap. Alright. In case you're wondering who that is, that was somebody I was just about to describe. So let's just go inside, shall we? Pretty sure that's who that was. Alright, that, if it's who I think it was, is a vampire, and he's probably hanging out under the trees so he doesn't get burnt. I'll get to him in a moment. Hopefully he won't come pester us until I get to that part of the story. Anyway, where was I? Yes, this is all a construct that in their minds, I guess. And Alair actually confirmed this after, that we apparently died on our world. All of us that are here from my world, well, we were supposed to be dead. Permanently. You know, normal. What happens at the end of life. But they snagged us, I guess, before we crossed to the other side and brought us here. I don't remember this. I don't remember dying. But since both the gods say that that's what happened, I see no reason to disbelieve them. But yeah. So, anyway, the reason that I was able to not speak to him, I've been kind of wondering, thinking about why. I mean, he's death, he's darkness. Why am I not afraid of him? And well, you're probably wondering that too. And there is a reason. There's a very good reason. I don't remember dying in my old world. I don't remember being in a fight. I wasn't sick. I don't know how I died. But whatever form that death took, I don't think it was something that I have tried to avoid. And the reason for that is I'm not scared of dying. Everything I ever cared about in the world that I came from before I was here died. My brother actually was the first one to die at the beginning of the war, the 4 years. And then my mother, and then my father. And they've been gone for, well, I don't know how long we've been here now, but they've been gone for half the war that I was present for on my world, 2 years. They've been gone a long time. And I know I kind of told you that before, that my mother was dead, but I didn't really talk much about my father. I did allude once or twice to the fact that my family was gone, that I didn't really have much left in the other world, my old world. And the truth is, there really isn't anything there. There was nothing there. Nothing I want to go back to. That's why I was enjoying the peace that I thought was here, that I hoped was here, which I think is going away now. And that's why I wasn't trying to escape, like KL has been trying so hard to escape this place. So hard that he would make a pact with Asteris and get inflicted with lycanthropy just in an attempt to escape. I have nothing to go back to. I'm not afraid of death. I welcomed the thought of not being in pain anymore, of not wondering what I could have done differently, how I could have helped my brother, how I could have saved my parents. So no, Asteris, I'm not afraid of you. No, I'm not. And I think that kind of baffled him. He threw a bunch of spiders at me. I don't like spiders. Not fond of spiders at all. But as my spirit guides pointed out, this was all in my head. It was my spirit that was there. He wasn't physically hurting me. Well, apparently this whole place is a construct, so he's still not physically hurting me. That's why we can't die, I think. We're already dead, in a way. And so when we keep being reborn or reincarnated or whatever you want to call it here, when we fall to any kind of misfortune, I wake up back here by my bed. All of us do. So, in a way, I guess I was right at the very beginning. I said, is this a dream? It is. It's just not my dream. Somebody else's dream. Apparently the god's dream. Alright, so enough of a side thing there. Yes, so anyway, Asteris doing his best to scare me. I was doing my best not to talk to him. But he was, he did talk a lot. There's apparently some entities that are sort of above them in the hierarchy that I'm not quite sure how it works. But when Asteris finally got bored and sent me back here, and I spoke to Alair was quite surprised that I knew what the entities were called, Justice, and so I explained how I knew, through Richard. Oh, crap. You see those bats flying? Yeah, those aren't bats. That was, yes, when I came back, when I was sent back by Asteris, I came back to a little, well, several presents. He tried to say that he was going to turn my brother into a vampire. Well, as I told my spirit handlers, my brother is long dead. He's been dead for, well, 2 years of my world's time. So, actually, no, sorry, 4 years. 4 years of my world's time. He died at the beginning of the war. And, well, he was cremated. So all that's left of him is ashes. So when Asteris said he was going to get my brother and turn him into a vampire, I don't see how that's possible. Unless they created our world too, and they have the same power there as they do here, I don't see how he could possibly capture his soul, resurrect him. I don't see how it's possible. I don't know everything, obviously. So maybe it is possible, but I think when a soul is brought back like that, that even if that soul was my brother, it's not now. And based on the behavior, I'd still say it's not. So the bats that you saw flying, that was Asteris' little present. My, quote, brother. It's not my brother. And when he came to visit at the door, I wouldn't let him in. But I'm still getting ahead of myself. When I was sent back, Asteris also left a little present on the top of my rainbow tree. He left, I think, 5 nodes, thaumatic nodes, that were causing taint. My beautiful, beautiful rainbow tree was being corrupted. And, well, I ran around collecting all the ethereal blooms I could find. I was quite frantic, really. And I managed to get it under control, but it wasn't going away. And that's when I realized there had to be nodes nearby. My spirit guides were looking for the nodes. So I ran inside, and I got what I needed to make a thermometer. And then I looked for the nodes, and there, above each one of my 5 trees, there was a node. So I went outside, went up, and I broke those suckers. I wasn't sure I could break them, but I just punched them, and after a bit they broke. I knew they could be broken. Well, at least the normal ones could be broken, because Kale had said he had destroyed one that was causing taint over in the distance there. So that's why I tried punching them, and it worked. I got rid of them. I collected their remnants, which I added to my chest here. And then the vampire that's trying to claim to be my brother showed up on my doorstep, and I told him to get bent and get lost. He stayed till dawn. He was very persistent, but I didn't let him in. Then Lilith stopped by, and I warned her that that was not my brother and was a vampire, and perhaps she wanted to come inside. And she actually stopped by to give me the Gaia. I don't even know where I put them now. They're somewhere. I probably, who knows where they are now. They're in a chest somewhere. She dropped by those to thank me for helping her. Well, was that somewhat coherent, spirits? Yes, and I'm missing out the last part of the story too. I'm not finished. Then I was talking to Atera after. I told him what happened with Atera and Asteris. And I'm still not sure if that was the right thing to do in retrospect, or whether even maybe it was meant to be. I don't know. But all I know is that when I told him that Asteris had come into the prison, well, at the time I thought he kind of banished her to a smaller prison or something, removed Atera, that he apparently broke some kind of promise. A very big promise, a promise made on Chaos and in their father's name. A very big godly promise was broken. And Atera was pissed. He was more than pissed, actually, because one of the things Asteris said when he had me trapped in my mind and he was boring me to death. Well, actually, no, he wasn't boring me, but he was giving me lots of information. Anyway, he said that his brother was slowly going insane without Atera. I thought he was just saying that. I didn't think it was actually true. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Because when I told Atera about Atera, what had happened, and that he told me that he'd broken a promise, or that Asteris had broken that very big promise, he ended up going after Asteris, and he's gone insane. I actually was able to overhear their conversation, I think because I can hear them all. And even though they weren't here, I could hear them. I tried saying things... excuse me, I need to eat an apple here. I tried saying things to Atera to calm him down while this was going on, but it didn't work. Maybe I was even making it worse. I don't know. I was trying to appeal to his memory of Atera to... well, not that she's gone. She's just not available at the moment. Tried to appeal to him to get him to retain control, but it didn't work. And he did, in fact, go insane. Either that or he's the best actor I've ever seen. Well, he's a god. I suppose that's possible. But I don't think he's acting. And in fact, perhaps I can kind of... No. It's too far back in my memory. I can't really show you exactly what was going on. I will have to try to do that another way. Anyway, they argued, and of course Astheris was poking at his wounds, making Alair angrier and angrier until, yeah, basically he snapped. And now he doesn't even seem to remember the name Alair, or at least he says he doesn't. And he's now wants to be called Damnatio. I think it's Damnatio Eternalis, something like that. Which apparently there was a prophecy by their father? Something along the lines of that when the sanest of the gods goes insane, a new face of the divine will be revealed. So I don't know if that means this is supposed to happen, or just that their father saw this was going to happen. So I'm still not sure if this is a good thing in the end or a bad thing. My gut kind of says that it could be both, if I don't free Atera in time. So I feel even more urgent for me to continue what I'm doing, because the only one who could possibly save the situation that I'm aware of right now is Atera, unless I can figure out a way to contact what they called the entities. And they said a little bit about those entities in their fight. Those entities have more responsibility than the three gods that I know about here do. So they're definitely above them in the hierarchy, and they call themselves Justice. But that's still about all I know about them. But I don't know if this means that I can talk to them. That they can... I'm sure they can hear me. I mean, if they're above these guys in the hierarchy, they definitely can hear me if they want to. But I don't think it means that I can necessarily communicate with them from my side. I don't know. And the one person who might have been able to help me, Richard, was taken away by them once he was cured. So I can't ask him more questions to see if he could help. I mean, if he went to like a local village, I could go visit him, but that's not the case. So all I can say is that I hope, Justice, if you're listening and watching me write this journal, if you're listening when I speak to my spirit guides, that I hope that by trying to free Atera, that if I did any wrong in telling Alair about it and help his madness occur, I'm not to blame for it, but I'm certainly a factor in it occurring when it did. And that I freely admit, because I told him what happened. That doesn't make me responsible for Asthera's breaking his promise either, but anyway. Whatever amount of responsibility I bear, I hope that by seeking to free Atera, by doing what she's asked, that if it's something that is the right, if I'm going the right way to help. Well, I was trying to save this world, but if it's all in their minds, if they created this place, I guess it still exists, though. I mean, I can touch the wall So maybe it physically exists, but I don't know in what respect. Anyway, point being, that's rather rambling, isn't it? Justices, if I'm doing the right thing, if I am going the right path for whatever plan it is that you guys have for this whole creation, which is probably more than just this world, it probably encompasses my world too, then any help that you care to give would be greatly appreciated. You know, even if it's in the form of, you know, garlic on my doorway, which I do have, but you know what hopefully you know what I'm saying. I'm not asking for like, here, there's the altar that you need. No, I expect to have to work to do things. But yeah, who knows? I don't know. All I know is I'm exhausted and I'm going to end this journal entry here. And I thank my spirit helpers so much, my spirit advisors today, because they help keep me to my purpose, and I couldn't have done it without them. So you guys, you're awesome. All right. I think that's enough for today. I need to get some sleep. I need to get some rest. I need to think about everything that's happened, see if there's any other clues I can glean from it, you know, once my brain is not fogged with sleep. And then I need to get back to work. Yeah, there's so much to do. Well, once I've thought on it, maybe I'll figure out a new plan. Maybe the plan that I currently have of my current path, maybe I need to revisit that. We'll see. Anyway, that's enough for today. I keep writing, I'm going to end this. Well, this is the end. Good night.